Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Piper Academy. I'm your host, Army Piper, coming at you every Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the markets, and the charts, and everything you need to have knowledge because knowledge is profit. We appreciate you guys joining us here today. We've got a great show lined up for you guys. But first off, right off the bat, let's go ahead and bring this guy up. Yesterday, Jim Cramer made the announcement on CNBC on his show there that Bitcoin is topped out. So there you go. That's the end of the show, guys. Buy Bitcoin, not financial advice. And thanks for joining us today. No, but seriously, he made that comment yesterday. We know that he's the inverse indicator. We know this for sure. Today also, guys, on the daily, big movers here on the bubbles. We got Bonk up 27.4%. Actually was up over 30% a little while ago. Of course, it's based on the past 24 hours. So yesterday, where it was at this time, 27.4% up to the upside for Bonk right there. We're going to be looking at an article on that one. We also had a Bitcoin Satoshi version, BSV, up here about 20%. Not even sure why this thing still exists, but hey, it's good to trade, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at some other stuff we got going on here today, guys. Big news, 24 hours away from now, ETF for Bitcoin possibly showing up in a market near you. SEC hustling to answer latest Bitcoin ETF filing source says. So we're going to be taking a look at that article. And then we've got an article about some Clean Spark news coming in. So we're going to be taking a look at all this stuff, guys. But hey, at the end of the day, it's going to be about this right here. We are in, see that blue block over there, phase 3? We broke the platinum pocket on my horizontal channel, my Fibonacci channels, and we are moving up to the top side of phase 3. But as the thumbnail said today, guys, could be at critical levels right now, especially if this is a buy the rumor, sell the news. And you do see that we have a previous resistance right there, previous level that we could be retesting also. So guys, you got to be very careful right now. Bitcoin teetering on a very tight wire with the buy the rumor, sell the news event. So we're going to be getting into all that stuff and more, but I don't do this by myself. I have an amazing team that's here every day with me. Crux of Crypto in the background, ZTS Rhythm in the background, but right here on screen with me every day, showing their beautiful faces and sharing their knowledge. It's Tradefly and OC Guy. What's up, fellas?
What is going on, guys? Man, yesterday was a big mover. So super excited to get into the
Right?
charts, talk about that a little bit today. Just a little shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for joining. Elo, Ron, Bio, Crux, Alexandria, Eric, and I think that's about it. If I miss anybody. Oh, Lunar. He's in there too.
Lunar.
DTS. Let's
LBC.
go.
We got the
Let's
LBC
go.
in the house.
Party time.
OC, what's up, bro? How you doing, man? Nope, no microphone, bro. You're muted. There you go.
Perfect. So
He's
not
back.
much, yes. Enjoying of this crappy internet. Nonetheless, getting ready to trade. Yesterday I had a couple of entries and it was a pretty fun day. Also, I was playing around with ChatGPT 4. I was making sure that I was up to date with ChatGPT and also was a blast. But yeah, getting ready to see what week it's gonna be like.
I got a news article about ChatGPT today. It's interesting that you bring that up. Let's go ahead and it's great to have this be with you guys today. If you guys get anything out of this content today and you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Get notified every time we go live. If you're not new here and you are an alumni coming back to get more knowledge today, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the like button anyways. It's free. It costs nothing and it helps us immensely. So let's go ahead and get into the news for today, guys. Let's jump it over here. Bubbles. We talked about the bubbles, guys. Bonk. Now it's 20.3%. I told you it's got a lot of movement going on here. Solana up 5.5%. Looking at the market cap here on CoinGecko, you can see Bitcoin up 3.8% for the past 24 hours, up 2.9% for the past 7 days. Slight pullback overnight once it hit $47,000. Let's go Bitcoin. But we also got Ethereum. Ethereum still sitting down, guys. Not getting this big movement out of Ethereum right now. Bitcoin dominance is the thing to keep your eye on, as we talked about yesterday. I talked about that and then we took off. So, Bitcoin dominance even growing even more. Let's look and see here. BNB BNB down today, guys. Looking a lot like Ethereum, but we also had some news on BUSD. BUSD underperforming, like dropping down the charts quickly. So Solana down 11.3% for the past week, up 6% in the past 24 hours, getting a little pullback over the past hour here. What else? We have big movers here. I saw a big mover earlier, and I want to go show you guys what that was. Oh, it was Injective. Injective still up 8.5% for the week, up 3.5% for the past 24 hours overnight, while everything else pulled back. Injective in the last hour, 1.7% to the upside. So looking good there. Lido down, looking good there. And Stacks up 21.5% for the last 7 days. My Stacks bags appreciating everyone that's been keeping this price afloat. So let's get into some news here. Let's look at the liquidations past 24 hours. In the past 24 hours, 65,346 traders were liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $221 million. The largest single liquidation order happened on OKX. It was a Bitcoin USDT swap valued at $9.4 million. Can you say ouch? That's what that is. If you take a look here at this 24-hour chart, guys, the Bitcoin liquidations, $79.7 million of them were short liquidations. Only 20 million were long. So a lot of people thinking that this was going to, sell off big time did not. They got wrecked. However, Ethereum, more of those liquidations were longs. A lot of people thought Ethereum was going to move with Bitcoin is what I'm seeing here based on these numbers. And no, those longs got liquidated. So coming in at $21 million in long liquidations on Ethereum. Let's get into some news articles. SEC hustles to answer the latest Bitcoin ETF filing, according to a source. With the Wednesday deadline looming, the regulator sent comments just hours after the issuers filed documents detailing their fees. So, like, they sent in their fee documents, right? Filed those documents. They got almost an immediate comment back from the regulator. And this is unheard of, according to this article. The SEC official sent comments to a set of prospective issuers of Bitcoin ETFs just hours after the company filed the documents for detailing their fees. The issuer should file updated documents on Tuesday, the individual said. Comments addressed minor details in the amended S1 forms. Rather than significant changes. So just minor stuff. And they said, hey, we need this back. Bloomberg intelligence analyst James Seifert, who's been closely tracking the Bitcoin ETF applications, tweeted that it was borderline unheard of. I don't know what just happened there. Welcome back. It was borderline unheard of for applicants to hear back from the SEC within the same day of amending files. So interesting stuff there. Tradefly, you said you had some other stuff on the SEC stuff, right? On the ETF?
Yeah, so just super quick. Garrett Gensler, he issued a warning on crypto ahead of the potential Bitcoin ETF, right? So we pretty much know that's probably going to happen at this point, but he's saying it's exceptionally risky and volatile. And what he said here, I'll just kind of highlight this, is those offering crypto asset investment services may not be compliant with applicable law. We did see that a little bit with Binance, and they kind of went after them, and they're still kind of that, whole debate, securities, commodities, yada, yada. But yeah, I thought it would trigger some conversation here between us, because do you think he's issuing this statement? Do you think he's coming out and saying it because of the spot ETF approval? Or do you think he's coming out and saying it because he's still going to put up resistance and actually try to slow down this approval? That's kind of one of the big reasons I wanted to bring that up. And a matter of fact, I'll actually put that in the chat. What do you guys think? One, he's doing it to actually slow down the approval, or two, the approval's coming.
Let's talk about this for 1 second here, because you bring up an interesting point. You bring up an interesting point, but what I want to point out is that he hasn't exactly had an easy road when it comes to the political push either. Remember, his job depends on him keeping it in all of Congress that can, sit there next to the president and go yay or nay on, getting a job, right?
Yep.
But he's also coming up at the end of his tenure in this position. And we know that where those guys end up going normally is to one of these big banking or financial institutions. So he's kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. He's got Elizabeth Warren on one side saying crypto bad, and he's got the other people on the other side going, we want an ETF and you're going to want a future job. So I think he kind of has to, at this point, put out a little bit of hopium and a little bit of resistance in this whole process. I don't know what you guys think on that, OC. Your thoughts?
Oh yeah, guys, you know what I think about this. I mean, I am the perma bear in this case. On when we're talking about ETF, I'm 100% saying that he is for the delaying of this, or not delaying, but I will say volatility factor, because I believe that yes, they want to delay it, but at the same time, they're gonna be giving some kind of like a bullishness and then bearishness, just like we've been seeing. They're just pulling up more actors in the scene to kind of like get us excited about it. And I believe that we're just gonna keep trying, either breaking that range to the upside or to the downside. I just think it's a volatility move there, to provoke volatility. So that's what I think.
Yeah.
Tradefly,
I
your
will say
thoughts on
from
what
my
I said?
perspective, yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying. That's just maybe another way of looking at it. But overall, when it comes down to it, I think it's inevitable. It's coming. And that's why he's putting out these tweets. I think it's just a matter of time. And he's just, hey, be careful. It's coming. Like, don't say I didn't tell you so. I think that's what he's really getting at. You're muted.
I can see either one of those roads there, but yeah, at the end of the day, I don't know why things have to be so difficult for something so simple, right? Like that's just what I
Yeah.
think on it. So
For the guy
let's
that
go
used to
ahead.
back it.
But yeah, no
That's
kidding.
what's
Who used to teach it?
yeah.
All right, let's get back over into the news here. Taking a look here, more news on Bitcoin. Standard Charter, if you guys remember them a while back, they gave some pretty astronomical predictions on Bitcoin. Well, they're back. Talking about a $200,000 Bitcoin by late 2025 if the ETF is approved. The bank made the forecast based on its expectation that spot Bitcoin ETFs could attract inflows of $50 to $100 billion in 2024 alone. Looking down here a little bit further, it says multinational bank Standard Charter predicts that Bitcoin could reach that 200,000 by the end of next year, which would be right in line with the Bitcoin cycle. The bank based a price prediction on the assumption that between 437,000 and 1.32 million Bitcoin will be held in United States listed spot Bitcoin ETFs by the end of 2024. They, like as I said, $50 to $100 billion in inflows. If the ETF related inflows materialize as we expect, we think an end 2025 level closer to US dollar 200,000 is possible. Of course, this is in a report that they put out yesterday, which was formally shared on X here. You can see here, Lark Davis talking about it. There is their whole flow chart there for $200,000 predictions. So Bitcoin must increase 4.3 times from its current price level of $47,000 to get to that. Guys, here's the key takeaway on this. If Bitcoin does a 4.3x, and it normally does, 3-ish x, 5-ish x, we could see an astronomical run up on alts this year. This could be an amazing altcoin year with Bitcoin, because you got degens out there that are never ever going to touch anything Bitcoin ever. They just want the alt movements. And if the alt movements are in that center of gravity being sucked up with that pull that Bitcoin's doing, then there you go. That's how you get those big moves and run ups. So that's the article there. Miner, CleanSpark, some CleanSpark news for our beautiful, wonderful miner investors out there that just love these mining stocks. Crypto miner CleanSpark Moles buying 160,000 more Bitcoin miners by 2025. So let's go. If you guys got CleanSpark, that is going to be, my opinion, a good buy. I have some, and I'm thinking about buying some more the next time we have a nice big pullback. Not financial advice, just what I'm doing. So shout out to CleanSpark miner stockholders out there. Let's go to Solana. This is the bonk coin here. Solana based meme coin bonk makes a comeback, surging as a market's eye Bitcoin ETF approval. Let's get it. Can I get you in here? Can you work with me today? Thank you very much. Solana based meme coin bonk making a comeback, surging 30%. Now, 20%, as we just saw in the crypto bubbles there. But this bonk has experienced a resurgence, climbing 30% in 24 hours after a decline that followed its year-end rally. If you are like me, I got caught in a horrible position with bonk. Yeah, I'm liking making some of my money back. So while it's 30% resurgence, it is not 30% gains for me. It is 30% of lost unrealized profits. So that's what I'm watching there on bonk. We'll take a look at that chart here today. And then lastly, speaking of Chat GPT, OC, Volkswagen is driving into the future with a Chat GPT enhanced vehicles set to revolutionize user interaction. So the TLDR in this, real quick, Volkswagen plans to integrate Chat GPT into its vehicles, allowing for interactive conversations by mid-year. The technology showcased at CES enables users to control various functions through voice command, providing a seamless and intuitive car experience. So there you go, Chat GPT being integrated into Volkswagen. It'd be really cool to see what Tesla does with Grok. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but let's jump out of here. I think that's all I got for the news. I do have, yes, nope, there was one more. Sorry, I had one more. I lied to you guys. It's the only time that you'll ever see me lie to you is when I'm mistaken. Cardano's price dropped 18% in 7 days. Do predictions promise to come back, and I think we're going to talk about this one here, guys. ADA was down more than 18% in the last 7 days. There was a chance of a trend reversal as Cardano's open interest dropped along with its price. 2024 began on a good note, but then we had this nice drop down. But at the same time, guys, as at press time, ADA's daily and weekly charts both painted red, which we'll take a look at today. But on 7 January, Cardano feed posted a tweet that highlighted that the blockchain's massive achievement had just occurred. It was per the tweet that they had increased development activity on the Cardano blockchain nearly 250% in 30 days. Now, you would think that that would move the price up, right? But that is not what happened, guys. If you take a look down here, alongside with the token's dev activity contributor count increased quite a few times last week. High development activity is generally considered to be a positive sign, as it reflects the efforts made by the developers to improve the blockchain. But ADA not benefiting from this. Despite the massive hike in Cardano's development activity, its native token's price action remained under bear's influence, and ADA down by more than 18% in the past 7 days. So let's jump out here and talk about this, because I think that there's some crazy price suppression going on with Cardano. You got all of the right things moving in the right direction, which should be moving this. I think that you're building up a lot of energy and a lot of tension. It's like earthquakes. You get those two tectonic plates. They just build up so much energy, and when it shifts, it causes an earthquake that wrecks entire cities, right? I think we're going to see ADA do that when it finally takes off and moves. I think you're going to see an ADA pump out of this world. What are you guys' thoughts on this? Tell me.
Yeah, man. I've always been super bullish on ADA. I mean, we saw it last bull market where it went from $1, it was kind of stagnant in that area, and then shot all the way up. I think over $3, if I remember correctly. So, I can see definitely a similar type scenario, but I think $1 is kind of a line in the sand for ADA before we see that significant movement again. But what I like in the background, they just keep building. They keep building. They keep doing things the right way. They don't make a lot of noise. They don't do a lot of marketing. They're just about trying to do things and do things right. And that's what I really like about Cardano. And I've remained bullish on them for probably a few years now, to be honest.
Absolutely. Yeah. OC, your thoughts on this?
I absolutely agree with TradFlight, especially on the part that the organic behind Cardano, because they're not promoting anything actively. Their work speak by themselves and the change speak by themselves. So that is something to consider when we're building on top like concrete or solid grounds, right? So I believe that it's going to have a beautiful movement, although we can see something like a round top at this point, and we're going to get over that, guys, in the charts. Nonetheless, for me, it's kind of like a small Alcon season right here before the halving. So consider that we are going to be retracing before the halving, and then after the halving event, once we see the volume going out of Bitcoin and back into the top 100 coins, I have no doubt that Cardano is going to be performing amazingly.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I agree. It's a matter of time, guys. Just be patient. This is why we DCA. DCA is the way, right? And if you're looking for trades, if it don't have the volatility, don't take the trade. It's that simple. Shout out to Alex O Crypto. The Otter Gang is in the house. The OGs are in here with us, and he said, "It looks like, why does it look like Piper's in a Head and Shoulders?" Because I am in a Head and Shoulders. This is my world of bars right here. Behind my bar, surrounded by bars, with my son who's dropping bars on a regular. So let's go ahead and take a look at the at what we got here going on with the charts today, guys. Let's go to charts. It's time to do some charts. That's not a chart. That's news. That's a chart. There we go. Guys, here looking at my master TA chart here, the master chart. Looking at Bitcoin here, we can see, I told you guys we were getting this resistance on the 786 at 45,000. And I warned you, and it still is a thing, that we typically come back to the 0.66 and retest that before we get the parabolic run up. If we go back to the previous cycles, just so you guys can say, I don't see it. Where's it at? Right there. Look, bam, came back, tested the 0.66 before it took off. Go back to the previous cycle before that, came down, tested the 0.66. We have not done that. And now keep in mind, we've also never had the promise on the event horizon of an ETF. So it is possible that we might not come back to test the 0.66, but I just want you to be aware that $38,300, $400,000 range is a real event that could occur, a retest of the 0.66, which would also close the CME gap that we have over there. But as of right now, we are positive up here and holding well above that 786 after hitting $47,000 last night. So interesting stuff going on there with that. That CME gap that I'm talking to you about, let's go over here to the 4-hour chart and let's go take a look at that. That is going to be BTC1 right there. That is going to be this gap down here. This is going to be the CME gap dating back here to December 3rd. So a little over a month ago, 1 month, 1 week. That's where that other CME gap is. What I would like to see is that if we do come down and do a test, that it is a quick wick and then we're out of there and off we go to the races, right? But that's what we're seeing there in the CME gap. Let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin. Looking at the chart here. We did have a wick down overnight. Nasty little pullback. Matter of fact, here's that trend line that we were talking about here yesterday, guys, that I said, look, it looks like we're coming back and doing a retest on here. This is Monday morning. It looks like we had a retest and bam, that was a retest on that trend line. But right now, this wick that we had down here this morning overnight, let's see how big of a wick that was from the top down to its bottoming here. That was about a 3% pullback, and it retested this previous range of price action over here. So you had this area here, became a little support line, and you can see right in line with that where we wicked down to on that test. Now we're moving back to the upside, looking pretty good there on Bitcoin. What I will point out is though that we are pretty high on the RSI. We did get a downtrend arrow on chart prime oscillator, and the signal line is starting to get the slightest downturn there. If I bring this in a little bit, you'll see what I'm talking about. Little tiny angling line down there coming down on that. So we could get a little pullback, and that would be okay as long as the price just consolidates in this range right here that we have on here on the chart right now. So that would be pretty. I would take it. I'll take it. Taking a look at the traditional stuff today before we hand everything over to the alumni professors in here with me. Taking a look at the Dixie today, guys. Dixie had a little move up overnight, now starting to pull back down again. Looking at the US 30, this is going to be your Dow Jones futures. Dow Jones pulling back today on the 4-hour, looking like some downside coming there. The S&P 500, pretty decent pullback, and the NASDAQ also getting a pretty decent pullback there on the futures. What do we have for the regular market open today? Let's go take a look. Yep, all looking down also. So there you go, guys. Everything kind of pulling back. The Dixie getting a little bit of a move up, but at the end of the day, Bitcoin regaining overnight and trying to hold that level there after a retest of previous price action. So TradeFly, let's kick it over to you, and then let's move it over into OC. And I'm gonna take a look at the chat here. We had a poll that came up. In the poll, we had a little. Let me go pull it up here and look here. Poll said, if you haven't done it yet, we got 21 votes on it right now. It says, is there more manipulation from the SEC, or is this political figures that are doing it regarding the Bitcoin ETF approval? Right now, 48% said it is the SEC, 29% saying political figures, and 24% said there's no manipulation. This is just the red tape of the federal government. I tend to lean more towards that. So, guys, go ahead and if you haven't answered that poll, go ahead and knock it out. Trade Flies, kick it over to you, bro. Let's get it.
Let's do it. Hey, so this is gonna be super quick, right? Just kind of touch on Bitcoin. I like to take that top-down look. I like to zoom out, go to the daily, look at some support and resistance levels, give you guys some really key areas to kind of focus on where you can see some support and where you can see some resistance. Well, we already wicked down last night, and I said this on Twitter. I was like, hey, Elo hit me up, and I was like, hey, we want to see a retest of about, I think it was like 45.8 is what I said. And really it's about 45.8 to anywhere by 45.6. Well, we got that retest last night in that wick that Piper was just talking about. So we did get the retest. And now that gives me kind of a comfy feeling that, we could find support there and see some continuation to the upside. But where do we go if we continue to the upside? So I got a couple key areas for you to look at, right? So one of them is going to be at about 48,000. So go back left on the chart. You can see very clearly it was resistance, 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 a little bit of support. You see that big break, and then you see a breakdown, right? So I think this area, anywhere between, let's see, about 48,000, just kind of in that range, maybe about 47.5 or so. You could definitely see a little bit resistance there. And really, we already kind of did, if you actually come back, we did get a little rejection there at about 47.5. So that's simply just going back left on the charts. Go back left on the charts. That's you're looking for these areas, and you'll start seeing it. You'll see it over and over again. Now, if we continue past that, right, one of the things that kind of was like, hey, let me keep looking up. And the reason I was looking up is because we were in a symmetrical triangle. If you do the measured move here using the chart prime indicator, you can see that it was somewhere around 53,000, right? So I don't know that we'll necessarily shoot all the way up there, but the reason I love these indicators is because they're going to put you in a general area, and then you can go to the charts, and then you can look at the charts and be like, okay, well, let's see what lines up with this indicator where it's saying that we may go to. Well, sure enough, you're going to see some areas of resistance and support. This is a very clear area here. It's a little bit of a range, but somewhere around 52.5 or so, there's definitely some resistance that you're probably going to meet up. So depending on how you like to trade, if you like to get into trades pretty quick like I do, you look for that initial rejection off of those support and resistance levels. You take your 2-3% win, you use a little bit of leverage. That's how I do it. And then I'm in, I'm out, and then I wait for the next setup, so very conservative, but I wanted to point that out. I think it's some good stuff. You guys got anything else on Bitcoin?
No, I'm good on Bitcoin right now.
Yeah,
OC, you got
absolutely.
anything?
Yeah, sure.
Let's go. Let's get it.
All right. So we are already on my charts. Let's take a look at what we have in here. So let me get started by removing most of what I have on screen, and also starting with the dominance here. Remember that yesterday Piper was talking about the bull flag that was happening on the Bitcoin dominance, and we marked that. We also talked about that on yesterday's class on Chart Prime, and we were measuring this possible movement here in two different ways. The first one was this huge since we broke through, and the next one, or a more conservative one, was this one that is already being taking place as we are looking at right now. So we're getting at the first target already there. So we broke to the upside, and beautiful target already hit, which meant that since we're having that dominance increase on Bitcoin, we could be seeing that movement to the upside there. So what's happening on Bitcoin itself? Let's take a look at here that, and let me just clean things up and now start showing you a couple of drawings here. Remember that since a couple of weeks ago, we've been following this as a possible ranging zone or as a wedging here. All right, so we have the very first one hitting here. So I'm going to be updating this line to compensate for that new data that we have in here. And look at that, we did that beautiful movement to the upside breakthrough. All right, and at the time of retest, well, then we are in the process of that, but it seems like we are doing it fine as long as we are above this area here. And why am I calling that area there? Look at also what I got all the way to my right there. I have my VPVR spike there. All right, so as long as we are keep up ourselves above this area here, we are good to go for a possible movement to the upside. And also, it's not only that, we have also some support and resistance. We have an automated support and resistance from chart prime, basically showing us that we are finding some support. So the only thing that we are waiting for is for an FOR flip of the real to the upside. And also very important, we were talking about the extended length and the 45-degree angle section right here, whether to expect or not a pullback. So also important to note that if this is almost, we could be also using it to measure the previous movements above the zero line. And look at that, we are still had a little bit to go for a prediction of a continuation of the trend there. So yeah, that's what I got on Bitcoin.
Awesome. Now let's go take a look at, I want to take a look at Caspa here on my chart, guys. We got a little something going on with Caspa right now. So let me bring it up here. And then, Tradefly, get your next selection done, bro. Right now, guys, you're up. I'm in, Captain. So check it out here. We got this downtrend that's been going on with Caspa, guys. I still am very bullish on Caspa, just for the record. But we do have some things right now. So we came up and we broke here on the 4-hour chart. Let me bring this up here. Let me bring it in here. You can see right now we have a breakout above the dynamic reactor. The trade bands are the predictive ranges, just so you know, people that don't know, let me bring this in here. You can see here that we have the top trade band. This is your delta line. This right here is the lower trade band. We are retesting it right now as we speak. Might be coming in for a retest of that and that dynamic reactor for confluence right there in that range. It needs to hold that for upside movement. And if it does do that, we typically tend to trade up to the top. You can see trade bands, the predictive ranges are just absolutely crushing it when it comes to, hey, this is where majority of your trade will occur. We got down below it. Now it looks like we're trying to pull back up. If we are going to do that, I do see Caspa coming back up to 4.8 cents. Not financial advice, but that's what I'm hoping to see here, is that we do keep that level right now on this price retest. Something that is a little worrisome, though, is that we do look like on the oscillator 4-hour, at least, that we are getting this curvature of the ribbon and possibly a flip of the ribbon coming soon. And we are starting to get these smaller candles on the RSI prime. The one word of hope here on the oscillators is that we have turned the signal line of the Ichimoku oscillator to yellow, which means that we could be getting ready to go into a little reversal of it back into green. But it could also be doing something like this here, where it goes into yellow and it continues down. So not feeling the greatest right now about what I'm seeing on Caspa, but if we can hold the current levels that we're at right now on that dynamic reactor, get a good retest on it up to the upside, continuing that on. If I throw on the trend-based fibs, and you'll see where we are, we do have the phase 5 of the golden pockets that we're testing right now. If we can hold again, you can see that was previous resistance, previous resistance, previous resistance. All pretty decent retest there, and then a resistance again. If we can test this as support, that's going to give me even more belief that in this upside move for Casper. So that's what I'm seeing there. Tradefly, let's kick it over to you, bro.
All right, got Solana up right now. So one of the things I was just looking at here is you're starting to see a little bit of a trend, right? This might be our third touch on a trend line here, which would show us a little bit of weakness and a continuing like trend down and right. So don't really care for that, but then we do have this one support level that does seem to be holding up pretty well. And we've been talking about that over the past couple of weeks. That's 84.77 or somewhere in that neighborhood. You can see that wick off of there. I always talk about those wicks right there. That's a good indication usually that there are willing buyers there. That's somebody that had a long position, or probably a bunch of people that had long positions already set in that area. And that was just based off of previous resistance. So if we do pull back, I would expect some kind of support at about 85. And you can see we are kind of trending in that direction. And you also, if you're looking at the RSI prime here, you can see that that is also starting to kind of trend down and right. Even though we keep getting those spikes up, you can see the bounces. It's starting to trend down and right a little bit. You see that with the MACD as well. That's also starting to trend down and right a little bit as well on the 4-hour. So again, I definitely think we can find support here at about 85. If we do break out or break down, you can start looking at levels at the 0.5 on the Fibonacci retracement at about 67. That's a likely area. As also the 382. I know that's kind of close there to this horizontal level of support, but you can see that there's two areas here where we actually tested it as resistance, and then you're getting into the area of the value area high. So easily you can find some support in that area. Also, the point 0.5 would kind of be your next level down for Solana. If it does, for whatever reason, get a bounce, if the ETF approval comes out tomorrow and the whole market starts shooting up, then, visiting this 126 area again, very much in the cards. So there's your key levels for Solana, and that's what I got.
Let's go, Sol. Let's go. Real fast before I kick it over to UOC, I do want to come over here and take a look at what we got here, guys. Army chart. There we go. Looking here, we did have that poll finish up. It said 50% ended up. This ended with 24 votes, by the way. 50% said it's SEC's manipulation. 29% said political figures. Only 20% believe that there's no manipulation. And then we do have another poll up now, guys. Go ahead and answer that for us. Will Caspa make it to a top 10 cryptocurrency? Not counting stablecoins, so take stablecoins out of that top 10 list. Will it make it to the top 10 during this cycle? By the end of this cycle, 67% as of right now saying yes, 33% saying no. OC, let's kick it over to your TA, bro.
Absolutely. I do have something on Solana here. Basically, yesterday we were looking at this trend line here, and as we were breaking through and also breaking through that zero line, because we had an entry point here, and I was chasing after that entry, still not too late. After 1 and 2 candles of confirmation, I decided to open it up. Basically, we're breaking through that dynamic reactor. We went to find this resistance in here, which we can find right here with the trend assistant, and which is this line in here, and also the prime ranges inside the Market Oracle Pro. We find out that we have a confluence zone there. Basically, that's why I had it in here. So let's take a look at that. We bring right on Lana here. As we get reached there, we're going for that retest. And as long as we keep up above the zero line, I believe that we could keep reaching up in here. Another thing that I want to touch on, it's on ADA very quick in here, looking fantastic on ADA, because we have a very strong signal here. We are breaking through zero line here. We're on daily, by the way, guys, just so you keep that on mind. Yes. And on daily, we're having a bounce at the bottom of that oscillator. That usually it's a good indicator as long as we can make a comeback just like we did in here, right? So that will be enabling us getting back above that zero line and keep moving upwards in here. There's just one negative point in here, which is staying below the zero line. So we need to be very, very, very careful as we reach to the zero line in here, because we could be making a dead cat bouncing here, especially since we have daily same daily pattern of Bitcoin's previous top, where we had a rounded top. Let me just show you by reference what do I mean. So Bitcoin, let's go to daily, and then just scrolling a little bit to my left in here, just bear guys here with me, and I'm talking about this rounded top in here. You see that pattern, rounded top, dead cat bounce, and finally breaking through as we did not make it or hold it above the zero line here. So that's what I'm expecting when I said on the bearish side. Just be careful, because we could be forming this dead cat bounce if we cannot hold it above the zero line for the retest. So that's what I got on ADA.
Awesome. Appreciate that, man. Taking a look here, I got bonked, but first off, I want to address something in the chat. Crypto Archie in the house today. Crypto Archie is excited about Friday's show. For those that do not know, Crypto Archie will be the first guest on Piper Academy on this Friday morning. So this Friday morning, going live with Crypto Archie, going to be talking about some small cap gems and just hanging out and talking crypto. So he's got a lot of great perspective. He is the most wise young man that I know in this entire space. So I'm very excited about having him on. So yeah, check us out on Friday. Going to have Crypto Archie on here with us. But For right now, let's talk about something that Crypto Archie absolutely hates and despises. Some meme coins here. This is bonk, guys. Taking a look here, you can see that we did come down here, had a low wick here of about that point, that multi-093 there, and then it bounced back up. But this resistance here came off of the trend assistant, which is red, which means that's a downward trend, and it assists you in confirmation of continuation of the trend, right? So we did have that. However, what I will point out is that we did get a retest here on the dynamic reactor. That's that little green that's coming in underneath, and then we did get that. Hey, like this is what how this works. We get the strong indicator, right, and it's retest here of these levels, and then it goes down, and this says, hey, profit 1, profit 2, right? And then this is a trailing stop loss indicator. Tells you, hey, you might want to get out of this trade if you're in your short still, right? This tells us that we might be starting to do a trend to the upside. So we look for further confirmation, because a couple of things here that I want to show you is, one, we are above the point of control on the fixed range volume profile. That is a bullish thing. We are above the money flow point of control. That is a bullish thing. But you see all this down here, this curvature of the RSI prime candles, this flip of the ribbon that's coming in here, this downtrend arrow, these overbought boxes here. These are all indicating, hey, we probably are going to be coming back down. So keep in mind, this could all refresh with this just literally trading as a support here on the point of control, and could do that and get all that reset. But right now, there is some bullish and bearish indicators showing up on Bonk. So don't get bullish on that 30% move and start jumping back in and aping in. That's not the time to do it. Not financial advice, but I would not do that again. So let's go ahead and kick it. Let's go ahead. That's what I'm seeing on Bonk right now, guys. Let's go ahead and kick it over to TradeFly.
All right, so here's our little daily update on Matic. So I gave you kind of the bearish / bullish cases yesterday. Just kind of retouch on that if you guys weren't here for the show. So the bearish case is kind of looking at your classic distribution setup here. You got your up thrust after distribution, and then obviously your down. So, but this is, I'll say, the argument here. And if you expand it a little bit, and this is on the daily, just so you guys know. So Matic on the daily here. What you can see here is you can see the MACD is starting to round out, and it kind of aligns with a few things. And then you had an engulfing candlestick here. So it printed that. That's right there is where it printed. So you can see that right here. Unfortunately, I can't turn the colors off right now so you can see it with the correct color. But TradingView is fighting me today. It's been a little wonky. So, but anyways, you can see here. We did get that wick off of the golden pocket. We talked about that a little bit. And then you see we haven't closed under the dynamic reactor here. All right. So that's really important. We're using that as support. And that's another reason we pitch the dynamic reactor and chart prime every day, because, man, this thing, it works. It's powerful. And now we haven't closed under the 0.5 either. Right. So you can see right here that we're using that area as support. So I think that we could find support here. I think there's a good case that, this is our area that we see a little bit of movement to the upside, right? Find support, and then we push back up to the upside. And that would really kind of fall in line. Like, it just depends on how you think about the wicks, right? Some people think the wicks are the ones, that kind of just do all the damage. And then, really candles are what's telling the story here. So you can see an up and right trend still, with Matic. So I do think that we're going to find support here in the area of about 79 to 80 cents. And if I were a betting man short term, I would say as long as the market moves, up and right, and there's nothing significant that happens that pulls it back, I think that we're going to see a little movement up to about the 86 range in the near term.
Awesome. Very cool, man. So what was that range again? The 80, you said 80 cents?
Yeah, about 80 cents to 86 cents is kind of like your short-term areas to watch. And that really just, I mean, I didn't really talk too much about it too. You got your volume here. So you got your point of control in the middle, but your volume area low right here. And that aligns perfectly with the golden pocket. So if we do come back down to this area and the golden pocket, 72 cents, so about 70 cents, I am definitely having some alerts set there, because that's going to really pique my interest for a bounce.
I'll take it. Let's go. All right, OC, what you got?
All right, we have an AVAX. I did jump into a trade early in the morning. So it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. Let's take a look at that beautiful retest. So let's see when we break through that dynamic reactor. As we always say, it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, and then off we go. So we found a little bit of support here with a V-shaped recovery. Remember, we've been following this pattern all along across many of altcoins. And at this point, we're having a rejection right here on the dynamic reactor. We also have a reversal and almost there with the flip of the ribbon. Nonetheless, I did decide to enter right there. You can see that I set an AVAX alert right there on, what is it, 33.27. Let's take a look at my entry. My entry was somewhere around 37. Let's just double click it. I did update it, 37.42. So a little bit late after the secondary candle reach, just so I have the confirmation of that flip of the ribbon and that reversal. So always wait for confirmation, guys, not financial advice. And we are very, very bearish. Look at also where is my next alarm there, and look at where is my taking profits there. So we're almost there. Hasn't rigged just yet. Nonetheless, we're very, very close. If they start moving the other way around, or if I start closing very close, and I'm talking about this candle, very close to my entry point, I will be getting out of that trade and just waiting to see where is it going to be moving there. So if I made a support, if I made a support zone in here, I'll be confirming a trend line for a continuation to the uptrend in here, right? And at the same time, I will be having a flip of the ribbon here, basically confirming a head switch to the upside. Not financial advice, just to very quick show you how I also calculated my stop loss. It's at the previous resistance zone. And how could I know it's also resistance? Because I have my trend assistance there, and most importantly, I have my order blocks at that area. And then just add just a tiny bit more in here for a wiggle room or space for it to move. And then if it stopped me out, I'll be re-entering in this area in here. So that is for what I'm going to be doing with AVAX. Keeping track of it, not financial advice, guys, but that is what I got here.
Nice. Very cool, man. Looks like a good trade setup there. I'm taking a look at Algorand, and I actually just saw someone typing here. Algo short to zero. I got that was Dave Digital, DD in the house. Shout out to Dave Brumbelow also in here right now, chatting it up, talking to everybody. Toaster, Justin, Eubanks in here. Love seeing all the crew in here. But let's go ahead and take a look at Algorand. We had some interesting stuff that happened here yesterday on Algo. Got a little movement up here. Started here on Sunday evening, and we actually got a beautiful rejection here on the golden pocket. Let me go ahead and bring this up a little bit so you can see it there. Almost to the dollar. Their rejection on that 6-1 on 0.66, I should say, of the golden pocket. We came back down, tried to hold the 786 platinum pocket, couldn't hold it. Right now, looks like we're going to try to hold the 887, the bottom frame of that platinum pocket. And if we can do that, then this might give us a continuation up, heading this up to the golden pocket for another retest there. We do have the money flow point of control sitting up there too, so it would make sense that that magnetizes us up to that upside there. What else do I have here that I wanted to show you? Oh yes, I remember. Let's take a look down here at the oscillators, because like most things right now that we have, and we're going to do a little talk out on this here in a second before we head out after the end of the TA. But right now we do have some downside indications coming in on the RSI prime. The prime oscillator is starting to get that flip, and it looks like we're starting to get a curve back down here on the signal line. So it is very possible that your short algo to zero could absolutely be in play here. Not necessarily zero, but the sentiment of a short setup might be there for you, man. Not financial advice. I'm just pointing out what I'm seeing here in the charts. And that is what I have for Algorand. OC, or Trade Flaming, let's kick it over to you.
Yeah, man. Let's visit one we haven't really talked about recently, and Avalanche. So I got Avalanche pulled up on the daily. Let's take a quick look at that. Maybe find a couple key areas for you guys to look at here. But in terms of looking at the indicators here, you can see we are starting to move in a more bullish direction. And you come down here, look at the RSI primed as well as the MACD. You can see that's starting to curve up and right just a little bit as well. So where does that align with what you're seeing in terms of price action? You can see we did get a bounce here at about $32. Now, where did I come up with that line? It's same, man. I always go back left on the charts. Look at this. Look at this big bounce off of this area here at about 32. You can see a rejection here and a continuation down. And then in this area, you see a lot of support and resistance. So that's where I come up with that. So, you see us do the Fibonacci retracement. Those are very key and they work a lot. However, I always like to find these intermediate areas as well, because horizontal lines play out for me a lot. It's just my big strategy. So we did find support there. And as I said, we're on the daily, right? So to me, the daily is more powerful than the 4 hour. And you can see you did get an engulfing candlestick here printed. And then, like I said, it's starting to curve up and right. So we found support there. So for it to move or continue up and right, I think is very plausible. So let's say that we're going to maintain this area at about 32. That seems to be a pretty strong area. And then obviously we can make some movement up to probably about the $40 range. And that would really fall in line here too. So just, if it's printing a series of higher lows, that's possible that it could fall to, or not fall, but shoot up to about $40 there and maybe see a little bit of rejection initially. And that also aligns with the 0.236 as well as some previous areas of support and resistance.
Very nice, very nice. OC, you got anything else you want to go over? Guess not. OC is frozen. So hey, let's talk this out here. What's up?
Oh,
you were frozen.
Please continue.
Okay. So guys, on this, no, you're good. You were, but you're good now. Will Caspa make it to the top 10 on that poll there? 26 votes, 69% said yes. So there you go. That's what we have there on that. 69% saying yes, it will make it into the top 10. Obviously, the other 31% saying no, it will not. So I'm bullish on Caspa. What do you guys think? What do you think Caspa makes it to the top 10?
For me, this is one of those times where, I am only going by what I'm hearing. I haven't done my own research. So I'm going to kind of like take a step back on this one. I don't want to give a really, firm answer to be like, yeah, I think it's going. I'm only going by what I see on YouTube, what I see on Twitter. So I'm staying away from making any kind of judgment there, but everything seems to be bullish. Everybody loves it. Like I haven't heard anything negative about it. I'll say that, but that, I don't know. Take that for what it's worth. So
that from you trade fly, it's worth a lot. Just so you know.
Yeah.
OC, your thoughts, man?
Oh, my thoughts in here, I believe that, yes, not to the top 10, but to the top 50. I do see it reaching top 50. It has some momentum. It's been holding fairly well its position for being a new coin. So I do see it reaching out to all the way to top 50 and staying there throughout the whole bull market. Yeah.
In the top, you said top 50 or 15?
50.
It's already there. It's like 27 right now, or 21, I think.
What is it? 37?
No, yeah, it's on a crazy trajectory.
Let me look here. Let me look on CoinGecko here. CoinGecko Caspa is number 37 right now. Yeah, 37. So
yeah,
it's already
in terms
there.
of trajectory,
outdated.
It was like 200 and something.
Yeah, I do remember that being very, very far away. So it seems like caught up to me. So yeah, I say I'll just have to reinvestigate and update myself.
Hey, good call, OC. Good call though, man. You nailed it.
50. You did. Top 50. Yes.
I mean, that was like quick.
Lunar Beach Crypto said, the question is, if it makes it to the top 10, will it stay? Only 4 cryptos have made it to the top 10 and stayed there. And that would be Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and BNB. That's a good question. I don't know that it can hold the top 10. I do think it makes it there. I don't know that it can hold it, but I don't see BNB in the top 10 at the end of this cycle. That's my opinion. It's IMO right there. I don't think BNB stays in the top 10. So that might be the one that makes room for it. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and see what else we got here. It may be number 37, but you guys are number 2 after God. Thank you, Alex O Crypto. We appreciate you, bro. And I'll take that. I'll happily take that position. So yeah, appreciate you guys. Guys, you got anything that you want to put out before I do the promo piece here?
Nah, man. I was just looking at the coin market cap, looking at all the top coins. So just kind of following up what we were talking about. Yeah, but yeah, it's on a
Absolutely.
crazy trajectory.
It
That thing
is.
is
It is.
moving.
It is definitely moving, and I hope to keep seeing it moving. I'm sure Archie is going to talk about Caspa along with Hello and some Lit Labs and some other great gems this Friday. So don't miss that this Friday right here on Piper Academy. Our first guest, Crypto Archie, coming to join us here on the show, and then tonight. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Crypto Billy will be on X Spaces. Everyone in the community kind of joins in on there. A really good turnout, great information, huge community of Givers Gain, hashtag Givers Gain, and it's really cool community thing that goes on every week. The new chapter coming up this week at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Billy Goat Tales. I will be dropping a link on my X, and you can follow right there to get that notification. I'll be in there tonight chatting it up with those guys. And then also follow the Real OCG, follow TradeFly8, and also down in the description below, there's a link to the Piper Academy X. So follow Piper Academy also. Guys, don't forget, if you want to keep yourself fueled and ready to go every day, check out Legendary Aviation Coffee. You'll get 10% off, help support the show. And it's a great locally owned coffee roaster, does small batch roasting down here in Texas. Amazing guy, Josh, over there. So we'd appreciate that. If you want to check it out, do so. TradeFly OC, you want to tell the people anything about their day? Do you want to prep them for what is to come in the next 24 hours? And with your great wisdom of speculation, go for it.
Nope. The only thing
I
I
believe
got.
that now is the time.
Go ahead. Go ahead, man.
Sorry. Go ahead, brother.
All right. Yeah, this one's for Dave Digital. He said I look like Billy Madison right now, so I just want to give him a stop looking at me, Swan. So there you go, man. That's for you.
Well played.
And hey, if you guys could help me out on Twitter, I am like this close to 500. That'd be super dope. I would appreciate
Let's
that.
go.
And
let's go.
Yeah, I'm eaching in. So, but yeah, that's all I got, man. Awesome. I appreciate you guys. Love having you in the chat. Love seeing you guys every day. This is great. So just honored to be here. Over to you, OC.
Thank you. So basically, it's just be a little bit conservative at this point, not financial advice. Just make sure that you read your indicators, make sure you have some confirmations, and also remember that we are bullish, right? But being bullish doesn't mean that we're not going to be retracing. So take those opportunities. Remember, buy the dip, take the sip, right? And be careful right there in the markets. Do some DCA, not financial advice, and also manage use risk properly. Again, not financial advice. Other than that, I think we're good to go, and we're giving you guys update on the coins that you guys would like us to do on the everyday show. So kicking it back to you, Piper.
Appreciate it, guys. Hey, thanks for joining us today on Piper Academy, everyone. If you enjoyed this content, you got anything out of it, don't forget to go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're new here today, hit the subscribe, hit that notification bell, share this with a friend, because sharing is caring, and that's what's going to help us grow this channel. We're looking forward to making it this run through 2024 and 2025 with you guys. Join us here every day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Until then, everyone, trade safe, and as always, use a stop loss.
That was awesome, dude!